It's gonna be the very best day of your life. It's gonna be, yeah. Do you believe it? It's gonna be the very best day of your life.
Yeah. You was picking out your fit, plan to decorate your crib. You was about to get it lit. I know. Yeah. Oh, what? Yeah. You look at me like I'm a threat, but really I'm just a blessing. This is what it's like to be real. Come on, feel. They know I'm the truth. On some that'll change your perspective. I know what it's like to be real. Come on, feel. Walk around stressed, not realizing life is a blessing. Don't know what it's like to be real. Come on, feel. And we don't get no but your flexing. All of your antics and presents. We know what it's like to be real. Come on, feel. I can see it in your eyes, yeah, it's codependence. When you spend your time, see you're lacking vision. Where you compromise, got no independence. You see me living life and you get offended. Yeah, you get offended. But come on to the other side. I am the light so you cannot hide. Trying to fit in, got you dead inside. Tried to kill me but I cannot die, yeah. I'm alive and you cannot take it. I'm on the rise and this crown I'm taking. On the winning side and there's no mistaking. No, you cannot fake this. You look at me like I'm a threat, but really I'm just a blessing. This is what it's like to be real. Come on, feel. They know I'm the truth. On some that'll change your perspective. I know what it's like to be real. Come on, feel. Walk around stressed, not realizing life is a blessing. Don't know what it's like to be real. Come on, feel. And we don't get no but your flexing. All of your antics and presents. We know what it's like to be real. Come on, feel. Where your real friends at? Somebody tell me where your real friends at? Where your real friends at? I know you don't feel that. Yeah. But come on to the other side. I am the light so you cannot hide. Trying to fit in, got you dead inside. Tried to kill me but I cannot die, yeah. I'm alive and you cannot take it. I'm on the rise and this crown I'm taking. On the winning side and there's no mistaking. No, you cannot fake this. You look at me like I'm a threat, but really I'm just a blessing. This is what it's like to be real. Come on, feel. They know I'm the truth. On some that'll change your perspective. I know what it's like to be real. Come on, feel. Walk around stressed, not realizing life is a blessing.
This is pain, this is youth, This is all the hush hush thoughts in your room. This is for the first time out with your crew. Getting fucked up, find joy in the bruise. Eyes with the power to seduce. Hand me the aux, we could cruise. Some nights I feel like I got nothing to lose. Some nights I feel like I got nothing to lose.
Freedom, such an elusive concept for many, available to all, yet grasped by few. A freely given birthright, yet more costly in its expression than most believe they can afford. But what is the cost to live without it? Wars have been forged over it, and yet it belongs to the peaceful. Slaves have been made in their master's attempt to barter his or her way into its city gates. But the gates of freedom are not open to the despot. Many will cross oceans to find its shores, but its borders can be found within. Its name is heralded by all nations and tongues, though most never recognize its face in their lives. They welcome and wish to see its benefits, yet resist and refuse to walk out its precepts. Though many attempt to destroy or hide its reality in their futile effort for unwarranted control, the truth of freedom will outlast any of the dissipating lies that seek to blot out its existence. Freedom is not the erasure of all boundaries, but rather the embracing of those that are healthy and true. It is not the denial or blame of consequence, but rather the right and pathway into full responsibility of every outcome in your life. Freedom is not accepted by the weak. It is the way of the strong, the gateway to growth, progress, and ultimately for everyone, a life full of fulfillment.
And I'm giving you what you're asking for. Future told no time for digging up the past, bruh. Talking about all the people that didn't last. In scarcity, it's time for using what you have. Just be grateful, the strong is always the last. Things are crooks who settle for we could pass. People's choices are hardly the ones chosen. I'm stepping out of the grave, that's your omen. Yeah, yeah, flower child, inflorescent, warrior. Feel my presence, sagacity, pressure. From dead broke, going affluent. Underdog, made a past of it. On top of this shit, what's happening? Born in darkness, came to life. Fit in the masses, eternal life.
You give me new life. You give me new life. You give me new life. You give me new life. Oh, you give me new life. You give me new life. You give me new life.
They locked me out, outsider. Felt the pressure in the room when the boy beside him. Despite disguises, they can see the difference. Cubic don't shine the same in the diamond's presence. Them lies don't hold the same when the prophet's present. Impossible to tame when the locks are missing. The blocks are missing, the box is missing. Reach your hand and find a switch, but I'm wired different. You can think we work the same, but a profit different. You can think we preach the same, but the cloth is different. Sort of a maverick, I don't fit you boys' equations, I resist the average. Y'all playing Madden, I'm running real plays, I just make it happen. Got the daughter saying, who would've thunk of it? Life gave me the assist, made a dunk of it. I'm the one the papers chasing, so it's dumb rich. Truth's #1 supply, you can come get it.
You give me new life. 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 Oh, you give me new life.
Hey, let's run it back. I think I got one more.
You give me new life.
You wasting time waiting, thinking I'ma fall behind. I'm the future, baby, I ain't even seen my prime. Culture spinning on my axis, so I'm never late. You just left to try to catch the waves that I create. But this ain't surfing, no, these waters for the boat. You never catch it from just talking about it, Lord knows. Got 'em nodding from the bars I wrote a decade ago. That's how you know when it's the truth, 'cause they'll never get old. And I know you getting tired of the lies when they catch you in the vulnerable times, then they robbing you blind. I know they look like sheep in the eyes, but they're wolves in the mind. Take your innocence to hang you to dry. If you question anything that they try, I speak from a confident mind and there's tears in your eyes. And it make you wanna go, and it make me wanna go on them, hang them from their feet. I just do it with my speech.
You give me new life. 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 Oh, you give me new life.
This is pain, this is youth. This is all the hush hush thoughts in your room. This is for the first time out with your crew. Getting f***ed up, find joy in the bruise. Eyes with the power to seduce. Hand me the aux, we could cruise. Some nights I feel like I got nothing to lose. Some nights I feel like I got nothing to lose.
Freedom, such an elusive concept for many, available to all, yet grasped by few. A freely given birthright, yet more costly in its expression than most believe they can afford. But what is the cost to live without it? Wars have been forged over it, and yet it belongs to the peaceful. Slaves have been made in their master's attempt to barter his or her way into its city gates. But the gates of freedom are not open to the despot. Many will cross oceans to find its shores, but its borders can be found within. Its name is heralded by all nations and tongues, though most never recognize its face in their lives. They welcome and wish to see its benefits, yet resist and refuse to walk out its precepts. Though many attempt to destroy or hide its reality in their futile effort for unwarranted control, the truth of freedom will outlast any of the dissipating lies that seek to blot out its existence. Freedom is not the erasure of all boundaries, but rather the embracing of those that are healthy and true. It is not the denial or blame of consequence, but rather the right and pathway into full responsibility of every outcome in your life. Freedom is not accepted by the weak. It is the way of the strong, the gateway to growth, progress, and ultimately for everyone, a life full of fulfillment.
Today I'm gonna live my dreams and accept how God created me. I won't let confusion, frustration, insecurity stop me. So I've made up in my mind that I'll be all that I'm meant to be, yeah. And there's nothing in this world that I'd let block me. I gotta get what's mine, yeah, yeah. No hater can stop my favor. It's not determined by you anyway. And I've been waiting for this moment in my life, so I ain't worried about what he has to say. And please believe me, you don't have to bet on me, 'cause I'll bet on me any day. what's meant for me. I gotta get what's mine. Yeah, yeah. I gotta get what's mine. 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 Yeah, yeah. I gotta get what's mine. I gotta get it, go get it. What's mine, I gotta get what's mine, I gotta get what's mine. I gotta get what's mine, I gotta get what's mine, I gotta get what's mine.
I'm giving it, I'm focused. I've got my mind right, this ain't bogus. Cause I never knew what I had until you came in, you worked it out. Said I'm strong and I'm moving on. I'm thankful cause you showed me that my deepest fear was not my failure, but that I'm powerful beyond measure. I thought, who was I to be brilliant and change the world? I'm freeing all my enemies to change the world.
Yeah, I believe in this season that we'll rise above all our seasons, flying high for a lifetime. So y'all move over cause it's high time. Believe me, we going somewhere. The ground's fit good and we ain't staying here. Forget reminiscing and grieving, cause we exist for this reason, to bring back hope to our daughters, make more men of our brothers. This legacy to our fathers, that security to our mothers, to spread more light to the nations, pursue all peace with all patience, presenting God-like lifestyles. Y'all thought wrong, but it's right now. Donate millions to children, secure our future from villains. Culture shifting how you're living. Don't try to keep up, man, we different. We gon' live how we want to. Kids don't eat like they want to. Trillion dimensions through our visions. Cooking up culture in our kitchen. Celebrating forever.
This is pain, this is youth. This is all the hush-hush thoughts in your room. This is for the first time out with your crew. Getting f***ed up, find joy in the bruise. Eyes with the power to seduce. Hand me the aux, we could cruise. Some nights I feel like I got nothing to lose. Some nights I feel like I got nothing to lose.
Freedom, such an elusive concept for many, available to all, yet grasped by few. A freely given birthright, yet more costly in its expression than most believe they can afford. But what is the cost to live without it? Wars have been forged over it, and yet it belongs to the peaceful. Slaves have been made in their master's attempt to barter his or her way into its city gates. But the gates of freedom are not open to the despot. Many will cross oceans to find its shores, but its borders can be found within. Its name is heralded by all nations and tongues, though most never recognize its face in their lives. They welcome and wish to see its benefits, yet resist and refuse to walk out its precepts. Though many attempt to destroy or hide its reality in their futile effort for unwarranted control, the truth of freedom will outlast any of the dissipating lies that seek to blot out its existence. Freedom is not the erasure of all boundaries, but rather the embracing of those that are healthy and true. It is not the denial or blame of consequence, but rather the right and pathway into full responsibility of every outcome in your life. Freedom is not accepted by the weak. It is the way of the strong, the gateway to growth, progress, and ultimately for everyone, a life full of fulfillment.
They're dreaming, they're killing your dreams, depleting esteem. They're jealous of us, they're burying your potential's too much. If you would just lift up yourself, believe in you, there's really nothing else that they could ever do. They hiding the truth, they following you, cause you got the jewel. But that is enough, it's time to step up by realizing you're more than they could ever handle. I pray that you're hearing me. You're perfect as you really are. The world will see just own who you are. You are beautiful. Own who you are. You are powerful. Own who you are. You are special. Own who you are. You are royal.
Hourglass, all class, maybe wanna spend some time with you. Girl, you know what you mean to me. I believe you were made for me. Girl, you better use your honor. It's time to let the world know it. Cause what's a star to the world if it hides its light from the world below it? I done seen them competing with you, non-stop. You ain't wanna see them do it, steady measuring, but never measuring up to it. They could never do it, but friends soon turn to enemies. Don't let them take what's meant to be. Just make that thing your energy. Just own who you are, just
Own who you are. You are beautiful. Own who you are. You are powerful. Own who you are. You are special. Own who you are. You are royal. Own who you are. You are beautiful. Own who you are. You are powerful. Own who you are. You are special. Own who you are. You are royal. This is pain, this is youth. This is all the hush hush thoughts in your room. This is for the first time out with your crew. Getting fucked up, find joy in the bruise. Eyes with the power to seduce. Hand me the aux, we could cruise. Some nights I feel like I got nothing to lose. Some nights I feel like I got nothing to lose.
Freedom, such an elusive concept for many, available to all, yet grasped by few. A freely given birthright, yet more costly in its expression than most believe they can afford. But what is the cost to live without it? Wars have been forged over it, and yet it belongs to the peaceful. Slaves have been made in their master's attempt to barter his or her way into its city gates. But the gates of freedom are not open to the despot. Many will cross oceans to find its shores, but its borders can be found within. Its name is heralded by all nations and tongues, though most never recognize its face in their lives. They welcome and wish to see its benefits, yet resist and refuse to walk out its precepts. Though many attempt to destroy or hide its reality in their futile effort for unwarranted control, the truth of freedom will outlast any of the dissipating lies that seek to blot out its existence. Freedom is not the erasure of all boundaries, but rather the embracing of those that are healthy and true. It is not the denial or blame of consequence, but rather the right and pathway into full responsibility of every outcome in your life. Freedom is not accepted by the weak. It is the way of the strong, the gateway to growth, progress, and ultimately for everyone, a life full of fulfillment.
Welcome to The Way, an Iexist event. I want to say on behalf of everyone here that we're honored to have you join us for today's training and session. As a coaching and counsel company, we've been serving others since 2018, and we know that your growth, success, and fulfillment is vital, not only to yourself, but to everyone around you. And it's at the core of our heart and mission here that everyone possible be pressed and empowered to lead a life that is full of fulfillment. Thank you so much for accompanying us on this experience. We're looking forward to see how this will impact the many of you. Share this with your family and friends, all those that you love, to grant them the opportunity to partner with you as you become all that you are. Enjoy.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining us once again on The Way. This is going to be the Business and Leadership Edition, I believe. If it changes, you'll see it posted below. But as far as I know, we'll talk more business and leadership themes this time than spiritual conversation, okay? Like, share, subscribe. All right. I know it's too early to tell you to like, but definitely share this out already, especially if you've been with us for a while. If you haven't subscribed yet, I can already tell you that this is a wonderful channel to subscribe to. This is a wonderful, user-friendly company that we have here called Iexist. And I want you to know that you're welcome, first of all. And we're here for you, and we love you. I can say that with confidence because we just have a great deal of love for humanity in general. And yeah, that may not be as personable as it could be because I don't know many of you, but at the same time, we ensure that the base and foundation of our efforts are rooted in, at least partly, in love. This is a business too, but we love what we get to do for everybody. All right. So I'm going to jump into our conversation today pretty swiftly. Today, we're going to talk about self. Okay. The self. I need to talk to you all about this because there's both a lie to the idea of you having a self, but there's truth also to the idea of you having a self, right? Simple terminology, you know, you may use this sentence often. I did it myself. All right. Like this, I don't know if it's considered a meme at this point or whatever is coming to my mind. Is it Snoop Dogg? You may be able to tell me. Somebody in here may be able to tell me. That's like, first of all, I like to thank myself for being, I don't know, the best self or something like that. But anyway, you remember? Okay. So it's partly in my mind right now, but there is a truth to the idea that you have a self. We are all individuals at the end of the day. As a matter of fact, I wrote a talk some years ago that is called the I in Team. All right. Because unlike what you may have heard before, that there's no I in team, and I understand that. I'm not actually even combating that. But I'm more so giving a wider perspective of the idea of team and teamwork in this talk. By the way, we can come do this talk at your organizations. Actually, if you either take the email or the website address that's below, right now, you can book us for talks to your organization, maybe, or just maybe to a particular portion of your staff, maybe your C-suite or something like that. This conversation had to do with the fact that there is an I in team. The I in a team is the individual or the individuals that make up this team. It focuses on the idea, without going too far into it, that, and maybe you've heard it this way, that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. All right. And so if I don't build the strength of the individual, you can have a great team of poor individuals, to be honest with you, or I'm not going to say poor individuals, but they don't have to be the greatest people. If you compile, if you gather, if you join a bunch of people together, missionally minded, going in the same direction, a bunch of quote, quote, weak individuals can become a powerful force. Don't get me wrong. At the same time, if each of those individuals were strong, you would have a whole different force on your hand. And so it'll be focusing on the idea that each individual has to build him or herself. All right. In order to bring to the team, they have to each do the role that they were intended to. And of course, I'm not going to give it all to you, but that gives you a little bit of the idea of it in case you want to bring us through. But this is the truth side of the self. You do have an individual self. I feel like I'm moving so fast today because I'm probably going to be a third of the way through the entire talk in 2 seconds here. All right. There is a truth to your individual self. There's also a big lie to self. Okay. Here's what we all need to know. All right. Number one, a lot of people throw around the idea of the ego, right? And the ego is just the I of an individual, right? What you see as separate from the whole. Again, there's truth to that reality, that there is a certain level of individual will, authority, autonomy that I have in this life. But the true lie of the self is that although you may have individual decision-making power, individual will, to a degree, you can do what you want to do, right? There's also a lie that's under that idea in which we can go too far with certain principles that involve the self. Because the truth is that although we are individuals, we are all united. I hope you're following me. Okay. The lie of the self is that although there's truth in the fact that I'm an individual, the lie is that somehow I'm separate from the whole. And let's just talk about this from the standpoint of humanity. So me as an individual being separate from other humans or from all the other humans. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a balancing act, maybe to some of you who heard last month's presentation on heights, because we talked very strongly about the idea that most of the offense that comes or that happens throughout humanity is this idea that we should all be on the same level, or that we all are on the same level, which those are not truths. Okay. We didn't deal with whether we should be on the same level, but even now, for the sake of time, the simple truth is that we're not all on the same level. This is the individual aspect. Okay. There's individuals. There's individuality to your pace, to your space. You can own space. You can have your own jurisdiction that's apart from somebody else. Listen, there's a lot of truth to the self. But no matter how much room you can find for free will in the self, you need to know that you're not separate from the whole. Right now, already, there's a quote coming to me right now. Don't ask me why. A lot of these quotes come to me from Jay-Z in particular. But he said something at a particular point. I don't know, maybe it was in a lyric or something like that. But he said that none of us are free until we're all free. Within that statement, He was unveiling a particular truth. That particular truth is that although we are individuals, we are not all separate in the way that most people believe that we are. So there's two sides of a road. Let me put it this way. There's two ditches on either side of a road that people will fall into. I'll deal with one side first. One side is this narcissistic, abusive side, right? The egomaniacal person. Okay. This person is always, and they get a lot of light for some reason. And not to say that they shouldn't, because people need to beware and people need to know who they're dealing with. Although I don't believe that you'll fully be able to avoid these personalities. A lot of this idea that you're just going to be able to escape all the narcissists in the world, or all the people who have narcissistic traits and be able to just live is probably impossible, to be honest with you. Learning how to deal with those traits will be more so the real situation. Or learn how not to deal, but not in the way that you're going to get away from them, but learning how to deal. Okay. The egomaniacal person takes self too seriously. This is an imbalance. That person believes that they're so separate from the whole that I can manipulate, control, abuse, rape, pillage, all of these people who I deem to be, here's a word, inconsequential. I don't think that there's a consequence to me doing harm to these people in this particular way, whether it's trickery, whatever the thing is, because the egomaniacal, the maybe what you may consider the narcissistic person in trait, right? The disease that they have is to separate him or herself to the point to where it doesn't matter anymore what I do to anybody. I am going to uphold my smarts, use my gifts, whatever the thing, which are God-given, by the way, right? Whatever those gifts are that they're using to, by the way, quote, quote, rape, pillage, do damage to a lot of people, right? Run over, forcefully dominate for fun. A lot of these people may get a kick out of it, right? They're doing that with the idea that I'm not you all. That either I'm somehow superior, which is normally the egomaniacal personality trait, or it's not personality, I hate calling it that, the egomaniacal trait or disease. Okay. I believe I'm so separate from you that it doesn't matter what I do to you. All of you are just inconsequential, and I'm abusing you, taking your territory, dominating you on the way to where I need to go. Okay. You have to have a certain ideal of separation from the whole in order to even be able to get away with that in your own mind, in your own soul, without you imploding to a certain degree, right? It's only when those people potentially wake up that they realize, oh my God, I've sinned. But as long as you have the mindset that I'm so separate that these people are inconsequential to anything that I could ever do. And as a matter of fact, they're so inconsequential, I won't even have any consequence for doing what I'm doing, because it's my right under God to treat these people this way because of how much I'm not them, how above these people I am. This is the side that's probably popular, more popular right now in terms of how we can abuse the idea of the self. But let me say this one more time. There is no self apart from the whole. Zero self apart from the whole. So every egomaniacal person, every narcissistic individual, by the way, who I actually have, unfortunately, some empathy for because I understand, right? There was a quote in a movie that I heard recently that talked about how those who grew up in chaos grow old to crave order. And so the type of insecurity, the type of craving for order that a person who has grown to be massively controlling, listen, abuse begets abuse. All slaves enslave. The question becomes, who made this person slave first? That's a real question. Normally, all these people have become victims of something. I just want control. I want order. Because life was at a particular point so chaotic for me, right? And I will not sustain life anymore. So it's not always that people just get off, right? That's a certain amount of people. Now, a conversation with a full-blown narcissist is coming to me right now, which all have their runnings from a person, from me, to be honest with you. Got off the phone very quickly once once it was understood there was no way to control Bryan. It's a long time ago. These people crave something a lot of times. So again, whether it's fear, whether it's, and maybe I'm saying this for the whole, this is why I'm saying also you're not going to, escaping all of these people is probably, once you understand like that a lot of the root is fear, a lot of the root is extreme insecurity, all these things. I don't want to be alone, all these things. You get what I mean? Like a lot of things drive that type of behavior. So I'm actually pretty understanding. We can talk about that side of things. That's one side of the ditch. But let me jump over to this other side of the ditch. There's also the individualist who may not be, quote, quote, raping, pillaging, Lord have mercy, people to dominate, to feel like they're somebody, right? To finally get back at the haters, to finally feel like that they're deserving of something or whatever, or to, again, feel like they're somebody. There's also another side, and this is just as bad, to be honest with you. These are both ditches. And a lot of you will fall on this end. I didn't want to just talk about the popular side. Let's talk about the other side. There's so many of you who feel like not that everybody else is, quote, quote, inconsequential. You think you are. You think your life doesn't matter. That if you don't succeed, let's just use that for an example, that if you don't win, that if you don't take up responsibility, that if you don't chase a life of fulfillment, that you're inconsequential to the whole because somehow you're separate from the whole. And ask Bryan, that's just as egotistical as the one who believes they could rape, pillage people for the sake of being somebody or feeling like somebody. The flip side of this argument becomes those of you who don't realize you are somebody. And it does matter that you win. Let me say this right now. The pursuit that I'm in, even in doing this, all of these displays, what makes me show up with so much fervor and energy and things like that is because I believe all of you matter and you're not inconsequential when it comes down to the whole. Because like the lyric or the quote I just gave earlier from Jay-Z that said that ain't none of us free until we're all free. How true of a statement that is. I can't even truly get a full feeling or a full pleasure, me knowing how much I know and how important each piece is in humanity, every culture, creed, color, whatever the thing. Listen, we are all tied in a way that you don't realize. It don't matter how many red zones you put up in all these things and try to keep people away. It never works. Because at some point we need to all realize we are part of a whole. And you're never going to be fully comfortable in a high horse situation, right? Feeling like I'm on top of the world. And there's understanding that there's people and there's realization that there's people who are not on top of the world in their own lives. And I'm admitting that can look different for each person. I told you, it really doesn't matter. But the truth is, nobody is supposed to be scraping for meals and all these things. I think I said this before. I forgot who it comes from, but I heard it before that a lot of people think that the love of money is the root of all evil, which that's true. But he said, I believe it's the lack of money. Right. And that's a play on words because the lack of money will create the love of money in your life. Believe me. Anytime you're willing to do anything for it, you have the love of money, right? Even if you don't have any at the time. It doesn't matter if you have a lot of it, if you don't have any of it. If you're the person that's doing anything for it, you'll still, again, rape, pillage, do all the things just to have it, to be somebody, to increase your self-worth, to feel like, I'm dominating or something like that. Then you have the love of money. It is what it is. When you're willing to do anything to get it. Break morals, character, all these other things, right? Hurt somebody else, etc. Backstab, you got the love of money for sure. Okay. You are not inconsequential, people. You are a part of a whole. So whether I'm from the stoop and I'm saying, man, I can just live my best life and I can just go red line something and go to the gated community and it's not going to affect anything. I'm sorry. You're going to have to look at a broken world from your clean window. And something doesn't sit right about the idea that it doesn't matter that I choose a selfish life in which I win and don't have a desire for everyone else to win. I'm telling you, there's a consequence to this ideology. It doesn't work. And I'm telling this to all of you hustlers, and trust me, you're going to have to be selfish. You're going to have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and you ain't really got time to focus on whatever, but it's going to come a time where you better be lending a hand. Because all the people that you had to rightfully, hear me, success is a dangerous thing. Not only is it dangerous, I'm saying it can come across. It could, while you're running the race of success, it may feel rude to you Because I equate it to this. Sometimes, depending on where you come from, especially if you're having to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and stuff like that, it's going to feel like learning to swim in a world in which everybody else is drowning. There's some selfishness to it. There's some I-ism to it. Nothing wrong with that, because you got to get there no matter who else decides to drown in this life. That's very true. But if you make it, when you make it, you better be helping somebody else swim. Because all the people that you passed are not inconsequential. Hear me. We are a part of a whole, a community, a world that is comprised of brothers and sisters who may not know their brothers and sisters yet, who may not accept the fact that they're brothers and sisters yet, who may not realize whatever the thing, who have not come into the knowledge of, who don't realize that the matter, again, no matter the skin, the creed, all these things, right? I can love the skin I'm in and the skin you in too. Because I realize there's a oneness to us all. So the selfishness that causes me to climb goes too far once I believe everybody else is inconsequential. Again, whether you're the egomaniacal or you're just a selfish, lazy person who will not become, for the sake of your family, for the sake of the influence of the people around you. It's the same egotistical mind. And again, I'm going to stay on this side of the people who don't realize that that's selfish. It's selfish for you not to become, not to be able to help and lend a helping hand. Listen, if somebody comes to your neighborhood right now and there's a fundraiser and your neighbor gave 10,000 and the other person across the street gave 3,000 and this person gave 4,000 and all this other stuff, and you think that it's not your duty, and I'm saying something that's really good that you may be called to, or you feel inward pressure to participate in, you should not settle at, I can't do anything about it, oh well. Where's your hand in helping? It does matter. You do matter. You are affecting someone. I love all of this, like I hate it actually. That was a sarcastic statement I was about to make. All of this I'm sorry to everybody, but let me just say it the way I feel it, the way I want to say it for a second. All of this ideology that I'm a soul monk finna go hide in the mountains by myself and retreat from life. And I don't care what type of quote, quote, monk it is or whatever, Buddhist, whatever. I don't like a selfish anything, Christian, anything where that lives the bunker life. I'm just saving myself until he comes. It's all rude. Where's your mission? You can't just wait on the sidelines. To this day, it's still true that the harvest is ripe, but the laborers are few. And it's only for one or two reasons. Either you think they're inconsequential, the harvest that is, or the people who need to know that there's good to be experienced in this life. There's God even to be, who is good, experienced in this life. That's just for some of you. Or either you think you're inconsequential, that it doesn't matter, that you can, I'm tired of the, narcissist angle right now. I mean, I think we get too much of that. Yes, he or she is dumb. I get it. They're quote, quote, insane, whatever, your anger may describe someone as in that predicament or state. But I really want to focus in on those of you, again, who believe you're inconsequential to the whole. It's just not true. I've realized that a lot of people sit around and waste energy. They sit around and get fat. They learn lessons their entire life. It's like having 14 degrees on the wall. And forever learning, right? Never putting anything to use, which is how you come into the knowledge of knowing anything. This is why some of you are actually more uneducated than you should be. I wanted to use a little bit of a stronger word, but that's just to say that you shouldn't just be sitting around full of information. I'm sorry. But you're like, I'm just, the Bible eaters, right? I'm full of the word. Like, go let some of that out, please. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you fat and full because you think you're inconsequential. To the whole, it matters. You're supposed to be putting certain things to use. And, I'm going to get off the Christians back for a minute, but I love you. But the whole thing is this: no matter what stream or field you're in this life, it matters that you win. Okay? It wholly matters. Wholly matters that you complete every task given to your hands. That's by God, but more so, I mean that you see fulfillment, or that you see the use of every gift that you have, or grace, I like to say sometimes, that you have in this life. It's meant to be put to work. But you don't go there if you don't feel like that your life matters. And I'm not talking about like you, and there's levels to this, right? I'm not just speaking to those of you who feel, depressed or something like that. And I'm sorry, I am speaking to you. But even those of you who wouldn't consider yourself to be majorly depressed, again, you have to understand that this is a mindset that was more than likely given to you by someone who didn't have the greatest esteem, right? Didn't realize their own importance to the whole. It matters that we all play our part. And so here's what I mean by that. You have to understand on one level, again, there's major truth to the eye, right? There's major truth to the idea that we are to some degree separate, but this is how you should look at it. It's like separate parts of a body. We should all play our roles well. Let's go back to the top where I was talking about the I and team. Okay, this is why that talk that you can book us for, by the way, is so important. All right. Part of the work that we do as an organization is to bring these truths to you so that you can go from feeling like you're inconsequential and that where you are, who you are, things like that doesn't matter, to you playing all the way out to fulfillment. And don't get me wrong, I would like all of you to see the fruit of success and things like that. But again, all of this is about the way. This whole conversation, or this whole, the title for each talk we gave is The Way, whether it's the spiritual edition or the the business and leadership edition. But why? Because there's a way to get to a point of fulfillment. And if you all mark this off, you will never be fulfilled. Listen, the mansion, all the things and all these don't find a true place and position in your life until it's partnered with service to others. Now you imagine this, that biblically there's an idea that you can, or that you should invite strangers into your household on a regular basis. Imagine that. The issue becomes, if I don't realize that the point, let's go back, is deeper than just having things, sitting and getting full, waiting my turn or waiting my way. You know, and I'm honestly going to do a conversation like this sometime, maybe soon, maybe called Contributor. I'm really trying to figure out why we as humanity, especially those of us who believe in a particular type of afterlife or new life after passing on from this one, why we feel like we get to and we want all the fruits of a heaven we didn't contribute anything to before we got there. You know, it's kind of rude every now and then, especially like you first time guests, if you go over somebody's house for the first time, maybe, or something like that, you know, like bring something with you, man. You know, like you're going over to the house party, you're going to the, what's the house warming or something like that. Have something in your hand. Why? I don't want to enjoy the spoils, the fruit of something I'm not willing to contribute towards, in whatever way that is. And I'm even challenging you to take that to your jobs. Why go to a job with the pissy poor attitude that you want spoils from? What are you contributing to the table that everybody's eating from? Contribute. Okay. I might have gone a little too far into that one. It'll have a lot more information when I actually do the full display. But listen, why you think you going? Why do you want to go to a heaven you didn't help someone else get to? Why do you think there's so many rewards for a place you just want to eat off of? It's lazy. It's selfish. But again, some of this laziness and selfishness is not because you just are such a lazy and selfish person. Some of you really believe that you're inconsequential. And until you graduate, you grow from that standpoint, from that perspective, by realizing that just as much as my knee shouldn't tell itself that it's inconsequential all of a sudden, and I get up and try to walk out of here, fall over, you are a important part to the body of humanity. There's a lot of people who don't know, let me go back to my Christians, that they're your brother, that they're your sister. They don't know the full work of the gospel that changed your life. How rude for you to participate in change, for you to accept change and never bridge that over to somebody else. Okay, this is a very simple thing, but you need to uproot that idea of being inconsequential. You're not inconsequential. You matter to the whole. It matters that you win. You can't just go off and, like I said, live some monk lifestyle in the mountains by yourself or with your two or something like that and think that you just pass through this life and that's okay because you survived. Just go get spoiled and rich and all these things and just live out the every tour of PGA. You know what I'm saying? Without contributing to the world in which you live or to the next. What are you doing sacrificially? What are you doing that's unselfish. You have an eye, but you're a part of a whole. And there is great damage that is happening if you don't realize that. No narcissist can run his way through a crowd of people or through how many of the cities he decides to move to or she decides to move to start over until their masks fall off and have to run and go somewhere else and rape and pillage somebody else. All of those people, there's consequence. Not just because God loves those people, but because you're a part of the whole. If you're a disease to the body, you're a disease in your own body. Oh my goodness. Your own body. You're hurting yourself. I hope y'all can hear and have a level of understanding. Think of it from that way on, from now on. You're not ruining someone else's life. You're doing it to yourself inadvertently without you even knowing it. They're a part of you. We're a part of a whole. Okay. When I come back, we'll give you a little bit more on this and we'll call it a wrap. Appreciate you for staying in this far. But really gain some esteem here. Really understand that you're necessary to the whole, that we actually do need each other. And without you, something goes missing. Something is incomplete. Okay. You have something to offer that I can't. I have something to offer that you can't. We are different. We have our differences. We have our heights, all those things. But all of it is important. Turtle's just as important as the eagle. Okay. Now somebody's going to argue with me about how vital certain organs are. Well, this is more vital. Listen, please kill the self for 2 seconds and just hear what I'm saying. You're still a part of a whole. Oh my goodness. Yeah. When we get back, let's go. Hey, if you're enjoying the masterclass thus far, I have a couple things that I'm willing to bet that you'll enjoy either just as much or even more. The first of those things is Wisdom for Days. It's my new book, and it is a compilation of 306 quotes that I've put together over years of experiences that are personal to me, that I know will help you out in your everyday life. Listen, it's just a great book. I highly recommend it to you. I want you to get it. You can get it at becomingallthatweare.com. Also, while you're there, pick up my book, A New Home. Go to the website. You can see all the details about it. It's a book that I've geared towards leaders that really will help you if you're feeling like you don't fit in life, as if you stand out in some type of way that you may not want to, but you just can't help it. This is all about how to get rid of your need to fit in and really stand out and be the person that you were created to be. The third thing that I want to tell you about is my podcast, Living the Dream. It is an Iexist podcast that I developed a few years ago that has tons and loads of great information, wisdom, insight. I gear towards the people who need the reality of living the dream. I know that talking about the dream is one thing, but to live it is an entirely different thing. And if you want insight in what it's like to actually live a dream, that is the podcast for you. Go pick these things up. Go listen to these things. They'll continue to help you on your journey to progression, to freedom.
Freedom, such an elusive concept for many, available to all, yet grasped by few. A freely given birthright, yet more costly in its expression than most believe they can afford. But what is the cost to live without it? Wars have been forged over it, and yet it belongs to the peaceful. Slaves have been made in their master's attempt to barter his or her way into its city gates. But the gates of freedom are not open to the despot. Freedom is not accepted by the weak. It is the way of the strong, the gateway to growth progress, and ultimately for everyone, a life full of fulfillment.
Welcome to an Iexist Masterclass.
Sinatra's song My Way, I Did It My Way should be his theme song forever because he did it his way. He didn't wait for anybody to tell him how to do it. He did it his way.
Why you worry about me? Why you worry about me? Worry about me, it's whatever I should. Yeah.
You say there's really no way to win. You say the pressure's too much giving. You should just hold your breath, cause I say I'll do this my way. Can't understand why you're worried about me. Made up my mind that I would be free. So just keep that to yourself, cause I say I'll do this my way.
Hello. They like, B, why you all in this rap-ish? I'm starting to feel like you capping. I'm starting to feel like you acting. I'm starting to feel I'm being catfished through touchy subjects and ad-libs. Are you a preacher, man, or a lyricist? Cause I don't really know if this hat fits. I'm like, wow, that's how you feel. I guess I just keep it all to myself. Won't no opinions, I don't need your help. But since you asked, let me share this wealth. Thing is, I'm both full of wisdom, full of wealth, full of God, still a earth shell. Ain't into sorcery, but I break spells. Learn to bring heaven, cause I've been through hell. And to trust funds, but I don't trust well. I'm a businessman and I'm God's man. Got a nurse brand and I dress well. I'm a lamb dressed in wolf's clothes. I'm a lion dressed in a man's robe. Dealt a bad hand, but I don't ever fold. I'm a high priest with no church clothes. Look, no cap. So you really mad cause I don't do what you do? Think I'm a fool cause I don't choose what you choose. Still living well while I break all the rules. Looks like you might have this whole thing confused. Y'all hypocrites are like 9 people, but when it come to hats, I can't wear a few. Stop playing.
You say there's really no way to win. You say the pressure's too much giving. You should just hold your breath, cause I say I'll do this my way. Can't understand why you're worried about me. Made up my mind that I would be free. So just keep that to yourself, cause I say I'll do this my way.
Hey, if you're enjoying the masterclass thus far, I have a couple things that I'm willing to bet that you'll enjoy either just as much or even more. The first of those things is Wisdom for Days. It's my new book, and it is a compilation of 306 quotes that I've put together over years of experiences that are personal to me, that I know will help you out in your everyday life. Listen, it's just a great book. I highly recommend it to you. I want you to get it. You can get it at becomingallthatweare.com. Also, while you're there, pick up my book, A New Home. Go to the website. You can see all the details about it. It's a book that I've geared towards leaders that really will help you if you're feeling like you don't fit in life, as if you stand out in some type of way that you may not want to, but you just can't help it. This is all about how to get rid of your need to fit in and really stand out and be the person that you were created to be. The third thing that I want to tell you about is my podcast, Living the Dream. It is an Iexist podcast that I developed a few years ago that has tons and loads of great information, wisdom, insight. I gear it towards the people who need the reality of living the dream. I know that talking about the dream is one thing, but to live it is an entirely different thing. And if you want insight in what it's like to actually live a dream, that is the podcast for you. Go pick these things up. Go listen to these things. They'll continue to help you on your journey to progression, to freedom.
Freedom, such an elusive concept for many. Available to all, yet grasped by few. A freely given birthright, yet more costly in its expression than most believe they can afford. But what is the cost to live without it? Wars have been forged over it, and yet it belongs to the peaceful. Slaves have been made in their master's attempt to barter his or her way into its city gates. But the gates of freedom are not open to the despot. Freedom is not accepted by the weak. It is the way of the strong, the gateway to growth, progress, and ultimately for everyone, a life full of fulfillment.
Welcome to an Iexist Masterclass.
Hopping round, you was glad cause it's your birthday. Till your mom called and said your birthday was her worst day. Even with the drama, you can still make it the best day. Cause it's the best day, yeah. Baby, it's your birthday and it's the best day. It went the worst way, but let that fade away. Let that fade away, cause it's the best day, yeah. It's your birthday.
It's gonna be the very best day of your life. It's gonna be, yeah. Do you believe it? It's gonna be the very best day of your life.
Yeah. You was picking out your fit, plan to decorate your crib. You was about to get it lit, I know, yeah. You was changing out the codes, leading autumn. You was writing down your goals, I know, hey. You plan to turn it up tonight, well alright. Then wake up to a better life. We still got time to make this right. Yes I know, yes I know, yes I know, yes I know.
It's gonna be the day it's gonna be. It's gonna be.
You was jetting round, you was glad cause it's your birthday. Till the pilot called and said your bag won't be at baggage claim. Even with the drama, you can still make it the best day. Cause it's the best day, yeah. Baby, it's your birthday and it's the best day. It went the worst way, but let that fade away. Let that fade away, cause it's the best day, yeah. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy, yeah, yeah. You've been dreaming about the day when you was 26 years old. You was bold, hard to go, you was always touching road. Always paying for the folks, never broke. Day before, heart was so fly, 25 to working at the store. But get it, girl, cause you was born with it.
Thank y'all so much for returning. I wish y'all were here. Sometimes I'm laughing and you don't know why, and it's you would have to be here, all right? So we're returning with another good half of this presentation. I decided, I know this is going to be, I feel like now this is leaning, and it's going to be spiritual edition now that we're halfway through it, or actually not less, more than halfway through this presentation. Like, subscribe, share. Now, you've heard enough now that you can go ahead and like it. So if you've forgotten to like it and you've been watching it this far, please go ahead and like and share this to all the people you love, things like that. I try to keep a pretty clean presentation so that you can share this with just about anybody, you know. just so this will go, spread as far as it really needs to. We have so much coming down the pipeline that I want to tell you about. Number one, let's go ahead and get the shirts in front of you. We have, and I'll just point because I'll put a picture up on the screen now. Thanks, man. How handy. You had one already. I was gonna ask you to throw it to me, but it's all right. So our merch line is available. Listen, high quality. Iexist. We got the Becoming All That We Are tag on the inside. We got Be the Unbelievable tag on the back. Listen, here's the thing. I know a lot of you won't understand the brand sometimes. I think a guy, everybody that knows you, who, or at least thought they knew you, who it's hard for them to see you successful and things like that because people say it's familiarity or something like that. I don't use that word often, but maybe you've heard it before. Here you go. I think soon as I felt like when I started posting about the business, the guy goes out and says, why do you want to just exist? And maybe this wasn't personal, so let me not even hold it as if it's personal. It's just interesting timing, maybe. But I really won't, in my heart, count it as personal. But some of you are like, it's why would you just want to exist? You need to really live and things like that. Number one, our brand, the reason why it's called Iexist is because we're daring you all, just as much as we are contributing this way in our lives, to be the unbelievable to the world around you. Like there's an old commercial, I think I brought this up in one of the previous presentations, where there's a bunch of like Easter bunny, like it's an old, I think Christmas commercial, maybe it is, or a candy commercial, something like that, or one of the bigger companies that deal in making snacks. There's a Easter bunny, there's the Santa Claus, there's all these fantasy characters that come together in a room, and they're like, I exist, right? The point of or I do exist is what they were saying. The point of the commercial is they were having an epiphany, maybe, or something like that. The whole point of our brand is the same, right? Like they wouldn't have to say I do exist if they were believable characters, right? So you teach your kids to believe in the Easter bunny, tooth fairy, something like that. Some of you do. And there's always this debate whether they exist or not, right? Especially to a child's mind. In the same way, we want to be so much of the proof of the invisible, of the unbelievable in this life that, and I'm daring you all who are especially coming along to join, to be a part of the Iexist Nation, which can start with a coaching subscription, and where we'll teach you to be the unbelievable in this life. Eventually you come to the place to where you'll have to wear the shirt, right? And I even say it simply this way. Sometimes I'm just like, man, you think you live in a world where nobody loves you, nobody will give you a hand up, nobody does have good information. There's not a lot of solution-oriented organizations in this world because so many people just want to capitalize. So maybe you think there's no solution-oriented organizations. Maybe you think, just per your experience, maybe you think nobody loves you. Whatever. Listen, I exist. We exist. All right. We're what you didn't believe existed. Okay. That's the point of the company. Be the unbelievable. Somebody doesn't believe you exist because of how unbelievable your life is. And I'll say this, I don't like, I was going to say testify. I don't talk a whole lot about my story on here, but I'm telling you, I mean, some of you maybe think it was unbelievable. Some of the things I've been able to live through, you know, I mean, I've had everything from the being robbed at gunpoint experience to the almost dying in a hospital experience, been so dirt poor that I was trying to use the Bible literally, and I know this sounds crazy, as like food. Like maybe if I fill my soul, it'll take away my physical hunger. Literally been that down bad. Okay. Come from some unbelievable places, and this is why I don't really take for granted what it is that I do. And also, it seems like I'm pushing you, but you may be questioning from where. Like, what experience does this person have? On the flip side of that, listen, I've been able to travel a good bit, right? Lots of things, right? Went from hard times to good times over and over. To be honest with you, and found rest eventually, stability, things like that. But definitely had some highs for sure. And just to throw a few things out there, have an opportunity to be, you know, signed to same record label that people like Prince and your Whitney and things like that. I believe it was Arista at the time. Records. This was a long time ago. Opportunity for that, and sharing the stage with a lot of people, playing musically and stuff like that. Been in, you know, done arenas and all these things, right? That's tour, that type of thing on a musical end. Honestly, we advertise it all the time, but some of you don't know how successful it is. We've built a audio podcast that has been heard in, like, I think the last time I checked, it was like 119 countries and territories. And just to give you how major that is, number one, with almost no, I may have done, and this is going to sound, if you don't know anything about entrepreneurship, then it may sound like a number to you, but to those who do big business, they know this is like zero. I might as well be saying zero to those people. I probably may have did $200 in ads around the States, maybe one or two times in like a random city like Paris, France, or something like that, Shanghai, I don't know. Literally has been heard in 119 countries, right? Just to give you how big that actually is. Some people, there's differing numbers, but some people literally only consider the earth to have 190 something countries. And our podcast has seen 119 of them, almost completely organically. I think the last time I checked, it was like 790 something cities. It may be more than that. I'm actually going to look it up in a second, and I'll get back to you so I can move on. Okay. We've had some successes, believe me. So I'm not pushing you from a place of, I don't know. I've done all the things. The reason why I'm a young man, but I may sound old, I've done the things. Trust me. Left home with zero money, broke down halfway to getting to the place I was going to. Didn't even have when I say broke down, a tire burst, riding hours on spare. Didn't even have money to try to go make a life in another state. All the things. Trust me. The wisdom and all these things that are coming to you, like if I just begin to line up, you would think I've lived like 17 lifetimes. So like you'll understand the fervor of me saying, like, when are y'all gonna get out here and put some of this you're not inconsequential. Some of the people I've spoken to, again, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe some of the experience. So I can wear the Iexist shirt proudly. You don't know me, believe me. So I'm saying all this to say that I know what I'm saying. We don't teach what we don't know every single time. This has turned a little bit more spiritual than I thought it was going to be. So we'll stay in that vein, but you're not inconsequential. You're not inconsequential. Give me another 2 to 5 minutes or something like that. We'll be out of here. You matter to the whole. As we were ending that first half, something came to my mind. It was literally a lot of scripture started coming to my mind. But let's start here. There's the idea scripturally, biblically, that even if you were exiled, listen to what I'm saying. Even if you were exiled from your country, from your quote, quote, foreign land, or from your homeland into a foreign land, it's the best way to say it. That once you get there, you should pray to God for the prosperity of the land that you're in, even though it's a foreign land for you, because the wealth and prosperity of that land, the land in which you're in, is your prosperity. I don't even know where it's found right now, but go look it up. Okay. Even if you were exiled, I'm saying, even if you were taken as slave, hear me, to a new land, you should pray for the prosperity of the land that you're in, because its prosperity will become and is yours. What is it teaching you? A little bit. There's many things I could pull from that, but like staying in connection to what we've been talking about. Listen, you're tied. We're one. Some of you are not in the greatest predicament. You're not. You were born into the country maybe that I'm speaking to, and you feel like you got the short end of the stick, like some of us may feel like, right? I didn't come from whatever you could call privilege. As a matter of fact, I'll just tell this story real quick. I'll never forget. I was riding with a guy and a friend of mine years ago, and he was talking to me about potential in the future and all these things. And we were just talking about the potential of what could happen. The man even started crying right next to me. I remember I'm getting on onto the highway and start crying. I'm like, man, like, wow, like just being thankful for knowledge and insight and foresight and what's possible. And it made me reflect a little bit. I'm like, man, all of this has become possible in my life, right? And what do I come from? And I remember him just looking at me and like taking a couple seconds and said, nothing. Where you come from doesn't dictate where you're going. Hear me. You're not inconsequential. Okay. So it's bringing out this idea that you're tied, you're one. You shouldn't even listen. I'm sorry. And that's not if I'm saying I'm sorry, obviously, I hope you know that's not a real apology. It's like, that's just me saying, I know you don't want to hear this. Maybe I'll just phrase it differently from now on. I'm not actually apologizing for telling you the truth. I know you don't want to hear this, but you shouldn't be praying for the demise. I don't care if who you work for is an idiot. I don't care where you live. If where you live has a lot of idiocy involved. You pray for the prosperity of the land in which you're in, job, anything, because theirs is yours. I'm teaching you something. I hope you know what it means to pray for an individual, right? Because to pray for means betterment. And if even somebody's evil or something like that, your first initial, and you don't get here, by the way, until you lose some of that I-ness. I. All that I-ness, the I-ism that brings you into selfishness. I'm making those words up, but just hear me. That bring you into selfishness, that make you really think you're going to get along this whole thing by yourself. It doesn't work that way. And don't hear me. See, this is a balancing act. Don't hear me saying you should submit yourself to the worst abuse in the world and all this other stuff. No, you can get along by yourself long enough to find the right community and all this other stuff. Please stop giving narcissists and whatever other egomaniacal positioned people too many opportunities, as if they the only ones in the world that may have a job for you or that may have provision of some type, whatever the thing is, right? Whatever it is that you're relying on. I'm saying provision because that's normally what's keeping people tied to those individuals, to him or her, right? You can get along enough. There's enough to be able to go somewhere else. Again, I told you, I speak from what I know, right? I've left. Believe me. I'm going to tell you a whole nother story, because I have to tell you these stories because there's no BS in anything I'm telling you. I'm not encouraging, I'm not pushing you from a place of unknowing. I know for a fact there was an organization a long time ago. I don't know. Again, I don't know if we pushing 10, 12, something. I don't know. It was years ago. I worked for whatever. It doesn't even matter. Whenever it was, worked for a particular organization, and it was just, it was pretty bad for some of the people there. I don't know if it was full blown. I was using the terms rape and pillage earlier, but it, somewhere on the scale, believe me, or somewhere on the spectrum for sure, is somewhere in there. And, a lot of pressure, a lot of people feeling a particular type of way and all these things. And, I stood up to be an example in a moment for the right and the passageway of people's freedom, maybe, but more so their dignity, esteem. It was a little rough. Long story short, I remember running into someone some years later, or not too long, but maybe let's say 2 years later, and they were in the same situation as I was. And she comes up to me. It just kept feeling like we passed each other a few times at a particular event, and it kept feeling like she wanted to say something to me. And I'm like, eventually I just stop her. I'm like, what is it? Okay. Hey, how you doing? Like, what is on your heart? Because she was avoiding it. Long story short, she says, Bryan, soon as a word or two came out of her mouth, burst out crying. She tells me, I really thought I could never survive without this situation. I thought that this situation that me and you both were in was all that there is to life. It had become so much to me. Remember, let's go back to focus. Some of these places, listen, I'm good in your life. If you can receive from me and hear and take whatever good that could come from God through me to you, right? Whatever that can pass through that's good. That's great. But again, I'm not the point. Trust me. There's fountains and rivers and other places that for you to drink from. But hear me. She says, I thought this was the end all be all situation, and there was no other place I could be successful or whatever. And she said, but I saw through you that because not only you survived the situation, but you thrived even after the situation. I knew I could make it. I knew I could leave the situation and survive, not just survive, but thrive. And I want to be very honest with you. A lot of people ended up thriving after that predicament. Bryan knows what he's telling you. Stop relying on all of the foolishness that attempts to put you in a place to where you're inconsequential. Don't dare put up with it. It's a lie. Anybody who's forcing you to remain around them by making you feel inconsequential is a liar. You're not inconsequential. You mean a whole lot to the whole. Now the idea, even biblically, of God leaving the 99 to pursue the one is in my mind. You are not inconsequential. I heard somebody say something really cool. They were a gifted person and they said, you know, I want to come be a part of this particular thing or event. And because I know I'll be welcome there. And the person who they were talking to, who was a master of a particular craft, he said, well, that's great that you know you'll be welcome there because that means your gift is going to work. It's important for you to know let me phrase it as a question. Did you know that there's places you can go where it's impossible to use, let's just call it what you do the absolute best. I got this definition. I liked it. I heard Steve Harvey say this before. What you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. Okay. It comes so naturally to you. Other people think it's amazing, but you take it for granted because you do it so well. Some of you, it's singing. We can go down the line. Okay. Some of you are excellent debaters. Some of you do, you're in the cosmetics, cosmetology. It could be a million things. Okay. Your gift, some of you manage well. Your gift is what you do the absolute best. I like this definition. With the least amount of effort. Okay. Those are God-given wirings, all right, that come into you. You can grow the capacity. You can grow the level at which you're capable of doing it. But regardless, it comes so natural to you that it's unmistakably God. If you have the willingness to even acknowledge God. Okay. Right now. So there's places you can go, and let me not say that it won't work. That's not, I don't know that I can phrase it that way or that I would phrase it that way, that it's impossible to use because the people don't want it. They don't want it because they don't, in their mind, need or want you. To them, you're inconsequential. And don't you know it's a curse to be anywhere where you're considered inconsequential long term. I don't care where it's at. I don't care where it's at. Because if you can't utilize your gifts, the things that are God-given, that are meant to prosper you in this world, you are under your own type of curse. Stop letting people get fat off you, just having you around and say that I got a crown, I got a whatever the thing is. If you're inconsequential, you won't be able to utilize what it is that you have on the inside that was not only meant to feed the world in your own way, to graft people in. You remember I was talking about contribute to the hands up that you're supposed to give to people's way, their climb to heaven, physically or spiritually. Okay. If you don't utilize those things, listen, you're under a curse. It's supposed to prosper you. But if you're around those, or if you are around those who are considering you inconsequential, you'll never get to use them. That's why, listen, you got to have some Iism to you. Don't you want to go where everybody knows your name and they're always glad you came? I can use my gifts there. What I'm saying is they're of no use and no effect around those who believe you're inconsequential. You know that there's somewhere, somebody that will always be glad you came somewhere. Y'all have to understand and hear me right now. Because you're not inconsequential. Some of you just around the wrong people. Okay, so let's not take this away from the idea that we're all a part of one unit here, right? But let's just look at it this way. If you need a picture for it, if you're the heart, if you're a particular artery in the heart, you don't have any business being where your knee is, in the foot. You may be inconsequential to the foot, by the foot, because you're out of your place. Each person not only has a gifting, they not only have a calling, an assignment, but you also have a place in which your gift is called or meant to work. There's a people that you're supposed to be assigned to. And some of you want acceptance so bad. Don't you know the narcissist, the user, the abuser will accept you to rob you? And I told you, we're not going to talk on that end too much because you need to be educated on this stuff just in case you're one of the few that don't hear the loads of information, because these topics get popular in certain seasons. And I know that's for a reason, right? But I need to talk a little bit to the other end of the spectrum today. But don't you know? So you're getting accepted and robbed at the same time, but you can't use what God gave you. That's supposed to prosper you, because to them, you're inconsequential. There's no other excuse. That's what it is. Ain't no wait until this, wait until, well, maybe one day, maybe. I've seen these patterns for forever. I told you guys, it's the same everywhere. These are the same people. If they're in that mode, in that state, pray for them, first of all. But again, some of you need to get out. You're not going to be utilized because they got too much I-ism. It ain't even about you anyway. That's why. But anyway, this is why some of you need a little bit more. You need to lean into the truth of the I, because you can survive without them. Trust me, there's somewhere you're going to go where everybody knows your name and where they're always glad you came, and your gift will work for and around those people because it's to those people. And because it's to those people, you can begin to prosper. But as long as you're okay with being around the people who ain't glad you came, how you gonna prosper? How you gonna utilize your gifts? And I don't care what they're telling you, people. Look at the signs. We're glad you came. Yeah, but I'm inconsequential. How do you know you're inconsequential? You're being made fat. You're being made to make others fat, and you're not being utilized. I'm sorry. Again, let's translate that. I know you don't want to hear that. Ain't no one day win. So moving on, listen to me. You're not inconsequential. There's a place you can go. And by the way, what are we? A bridge. Let me advertise right here. We are the bridge to get you to this particular place. I'm here to align and accelerate you in this life. We are the bridge. Some of you, I don't even know if I shouldn't say this, right? I don't know if you will ever find your home with us, but if at the least you're a bridge, because you would have to be called to this specific work in bridging people over all the way to fulfillment, all the way to use and usefulness, or usefulness and use. We're the bridge for get out if you need it, and get in to whatever the call, the mission, the purpose, the people, whatever they are, wherever they are. Okay. Join the nation. Scan the QR code. Okay. It's going to take you straight there. If you're seeing it pop up every now and then, it's going to take you straight to our platform that's built to get you all the way to fulfillment, from even if you need it, dream conception, or help stabilize what may be a vague conception, all the way to being able to walk it all the way through. One more time, imagine it as going from an employee to an entrepreneur. Okay. You are not inconsequential. That's all I really came to tell you today. Stop giving yourself a pass. Stop going around those who are being treated as inconsequential, because you're not. You matter to God and to this world. If you don't hold, as a matter of fact, you should feel doomed if you don't hold up your end of the bargain that you may not have known you were a part of. Okay. I give you gifts, is maybe what God may say or would say to you. You utilize them. That's how this goes. Help somebody up. Get yourself up. Some of you that need it will help you get up, by the way. With your effort towards it, will give you a hand up. You'll pass to do it. That's just the business part of it. But we will help you all the way up, get you to whatever the success you saw for yourself. That millionaire, that dream thing, by the way, that's dependent upon your effort and, again, your struggle to success. Okay. But get yourself up if you need to do that. But then go lend a hand, use your gifts, utilize them for the furtherance of humanity. It's not hard, but that's your civil duty as a part of a whole. People, you cannot escape this. Remember, two sides of a road. There's a ditch on either side. Egotistical, egomaniac. Okay, that's one side. The other side is I don't matter. You don't matter. That's what you may say to yourself, that you don't matter. It's a lie. There's somewhere you're going to go where everybody knows your name. They're always glad you came. And what I'm saying to you is you're not inconsequential. It does matter that you succeed, that you make it all the way through, that you don't go another year, another day. As a matter of fact, those of you who are signing up for the Iexist Nation to come out of the inconsequential mind frame so that you can be a contributor in this life the way you were intended to, so that you can prosper the way you were intended to. It's a whole cycle to this thing, right? Do it now. Don't wait. I already told you a second ago, all the people that's holding you up talking about one day win, they're lying to you. Unless they've chosen to get their act together after being pressured. That's the only thing that's going to change them. Or that's going to change for you, I should say. And when they change, it'll happen immediately because there's no point. There's no excuse. I'm telling you as owner, I'm telling you as a person that has people around himself. If you're not being utilized, you're waiting for nothing. But anyway, you need to join now. Why? Because there's no point in waiting. You're not waiting on anything. I say this about marriage a lot, right? People are like, oh, I got to get myself ready for marriage and stuff like that. There is a way that you can study, you can get yourself ready, things like that, in the sense of wrapping your mind around the cost of what it's going to take, because no man should go to build anything without first counting the cost. You should count the cost of what it is you're about to get to, but how can you count the cost if you don't know what something is? Institutionally, the structure, whatever if you don't know what it is, you can't count the cost. Okay, so there's a preparation that can happen beforehand. But at the same time, there's certain things that are only going to happen by you getting into it. You don't become a better speaker by sitting on the sidelines. I mean, it's only so good you're going to get by studying somebody else's speeches or sermons or whatever the thing is, right? You got to get in there. And after all your studying, you're going to suck. First, you are. You're not going to do as well as you will do in 40 years, even if it's a natural gift, even if it's a natural inclination. Okay? You got to get better and better. Don't wait. You're wasting your life feeling or being thought or looked at as inconsequential. Stop hiding others of you because you feel inconsequential. You matter to the whole. All of you, I don't need to work towards this. I don't need to. Now let's take something small as prayer, which is not, I'm not teaching this right now. I'm not calling prayer small. I'm saying something minute in example as prayer. Okay. Something that you wouldn't consider to be a big deal. Oh, they've already prayed for this particular thing. Man, what's one more prayer? Yours, if you're praying for the betterment of a particular thing, let's say a nation or something like that, all of them matter. All of you better be praying for the betterment of whatever position or place you may be in or whatever the thing is. I'm saying some of you opt out. You know, I could go to real thing. You know, people talk about this all the time, voting, things like voting. Hey, it matters if you vote. These people are trying to tell you you're not inconsequential. When they say your vote matters, it's the same thing, same concept. You're not inconsequential as long as you stay on that side. Number one, you'll never receive the favor, the blessing you're supposed to in this life or anything like that. Okay, I'm going to get out of here. Join the nation, share, like, and subscribe, especially to those that you know who are feeling inconsequential, who have been treated inconsequential for a very long time. And you know they need to hear this to give them a boost to go ahead and start doing what they need to do. They need to know, you need to know that you matter. And don't listen. I hate this idea of people, I hate this idea of people relying on their children and stuff like that to be generational curse breakers and stuff like that. I spoke with a lady some years ago who she was a single parent, I believe. And she had given up on life like super early to me. It's like, I don't even know if she was in her 40s yet. And she was already giving up and counting on her daughter to bring the family through to a particular place. And She told me about the dreams that she had given up on, that it didn't even make any sense why. And it's not like she was like trying to be something that would require extreme youth. I'm sure what she was actually describing that she wanted to do or had a dream to do, people are doing in their 90s, I'm certain, somewhere. I'll tell you what it is. It was radio hosting. You're not even 40. Yeah, I'm just going to pour into my daughter. So she's already acting as if her life is not, or her life is inconsequential. But there's consequence to you feeling and submitting to the idea that you're inconsequential. There's consequences to that. That's the last thing I'm squeezing in here real quick. You should be scared of feeling inconsequential because you matter and listen, I don't know what it's like to have some afterlife experience in which you meet God and after having a long life of being treated like or accepting the idea that you're inconsequential, you don't utilize any gifts, you don't help anybody up, and maybe it's questioned. What did you do with what I gave you? I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if I've heard of anybody having a near-death experience and said what that could be like. But all I know is I don't want to know what that's like. I want to utilize everything I have in me. And I'm going to say this one more time to those of you who are being treated, who are allowing others to treat you as if you're inconsequential. Do not ruin your own life by accepting that idea. Normally, I'm telling you, and that's the egotistical, egomaniacal mind frame that even tries to do that to people. Maybe not the only type, okay, of trait. But whatever the trait is that's causing people, it could be ignorance. It's not the only, now that I think about it. Whatever the cause is, whatever the reasoning, do not allow yourself to be treated that way. If you're doing that, just know that you're being lied to, and it's important, majorly important, that you use everything that's been given to you because it is of consequence. And I'm saying that in a good way, to the mass, to the whole. We need you to be who you were called or destined to be. And I keep harping on this a little bit because you see plenty of people, maybe, I don't know how old you are, many of you who are watching this, but you've probably seen people pass through this world. And the world can treat you like it's of no consequence because it keeps moving and things like that. I'm saying don't believe the lie. Think how much further along even humanity could be if everybody pitched in to lending a helping hand, to getting themselves what they're supposed to, so they could even lend a helping hand. Listen, take up your personal responsibility. Actually, now I know really how I'm going to end this. There was another key that I that I'm going to add to one of the other presentations. I think the last thing I said in the presentation was that a key to heights, it actually is what it is. The last presentation was to dream. Let me give you this last key really quickly. Believe in yourself. Let's bring self back to the forefront real quick. Listen, build yourself. If you work on a job, if you work for someone, you can make a living. If you work on yourself, you will make yourself rich. I think the actual quote is that you'll make a fortune, okay? Wherever it comes from. Build yourself. Work on yourself. You want to be of mass consequence for you to leave any arena, any field, any job predicament. You want to be of consequence. What I mean is, if people don't want to lose you, listen, I'm telling you the truth. Build yourself. We can teach you how to do it. Subscribe at the link connected to this QR code that you see on the screen now. Listen, it's our idea, it's our desire that all of you, because none of you are inconsequential to us. None of you are inconsequential to us. None of you are inconsequential to us. I see you as beings that can be described this way. You contain treasure in earthen vessels. You may be flesh, but you got treasure in you. And I know it. And I can see it in you, and I can help build it in you. That's what we're here for, to help you build yourself. It's our desire that you would prosper. And until next time.
We hope you enjoyed our experience. If you would like to gain access to more in-depth teachings such as this one, a host of other products and services, or the opportunity to partner with others who are becoming all that they are, join our exclusive membership community. Join the nation, the Iexist Nation. All the info you need can be found in the description of this video. Until next time.
Life just keeps getting better and better. You just wait and see. You don't have to see it now in order to believe. Life just keeps getting better and better. You just wait and see. You don't have to see it now in order to believe. Better, 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 better. Ooh, better, 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 better. Life just keeps getting better and better. You just wait and see. You don't have to see it now in order to believe. Life just keeps getting better and better. You just wait and see. You don't have to see it now in order to believe. Better, 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 better. Oh, better, 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 better. Life just keeps getting better and better. You just wait and see. You don't have to see it now in order to believe. Life just keeps getting better and better. You just wait and see. You don't have to see it now in order to believe. Better, 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 better. Oh, yeah, oh yeah.